Hello and a very good evening. You're watching Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. The Rajya Sabha has just been adjourned for the day and it's now time to bring you the news at 6. Here are the headlines. Government announces more checks on political funding. Parties told to file audited returns by December every year or lose their tax exemptions. Three days after putting him under house arrest, Pakistan puts Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed and 37 activists on exit control list, bans them from leaving the country. DMK raises the issue of oil spill along the Chennai coast in the Rajya Sabha 5 days after the collision of two ships mopping up operations near completion. And UN Secretary General joins worldwide protests against US President Donald Trump's travel ban order, says ban on refugees and immigrants from 7 countries should be lifted immediately. Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhia asserted on Thursday that political parties will have to file audited returns by December every year or run the risk of losing tax exemptions. He also claimed that more than 50% parties do not file ITR on time. The government will also amend the law to keep identity of people buying electoral bonds for donations to political parties confidential.
After fixing a ceiling of 2,000 rupees on anonymous cash donations to political parties, the government is planning to infuse fiscal discipline in them. It will do this by amending the law to make filing of returns mandatory by December end of any assessment year. Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhia said on Thursday that political parties will lose their exemption status if they don't file their ITRs by December end. For the last 2 years, over 50% parties haven't filed their ITRs on time. These are smaller parties which don't bother to file returns. Right now, many political parties file tax returns after 2 to 3 years. The government will also amend the Representation of People's Act to ensure secrecy of the electoral bond buyers and will soon notify the banks that will be eligible to issue such bonds. They will come out with guidelines by March.
BJP has always been at the forefront of war against black money, and that too in politics. It's a path-breaking move and it will try to evolve some kind of a cleansing of politics, giving us clean politics and cleaner governance.
The decision, however, evoked mixed response from opposition parties.
The political party which was claiming that there should be a corruption-free India, they should try to bring in a Lokpal first.
जो भी चंदे पार्टियों को मिलते हैं वो बिल्कुल ट्रांसपेरेंट होना चाहिए, पार्टियों को अकाउंट मेंटेन होना चाहिए और उनको इस काम के लिए एक रीजनेबल समय दिया जाना चाहिए. अगर रीजनेबल समय पहले दिया जा चुका है तो सरकार का स्टेप यह कहना सही हो सकता है.
The government should reopen the discussion on state funding of elections. Then only we can think of comprehensive electoral reform and political funding can be defined.
Political parties registered with the Election Commission of India are 100% exempted from paying income tax under Section 13A of the Income Tax Act 1961, but only if they file their income tax returns every assessment year along with audited accounts, income, expenditure details and balance sheet. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Rajya Sabha members gave a motion of thanks on the President's address which he delivered to both houses of Parliament on January 31st, the first day of the session. Let's listen in to some of the leaders.
सर, महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी भारतीय संसद की परंपरा के मर्मज्ञ हैं और भारतीय राजनीति का उनको व्यापक अनुभव है. अपने उस लंबी यात्रा में उन्होंने भारत के विकास की यात्रा को भी देखा है और आज देश के संवैधानिक प्रमुख के रूप में उन्होंने जो बजट सत्र के उद्घाटन के अवसर पर अपने उद्गार प्रकट किए हैं वो देश के बदलाव का संकेत है.
फौजियों की सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जो आतंकवादियों के हमले से मारे गए, जाने जाया हो गए, 39 थे और पिछले साल इनकी संख्या बढ़कर दुगने से ज्यादा 82 हो गई. और हम भी अभी भी कहते हैं बहुत इंप्रूवमेंट हुई और सैकड़ों जख्मी हो गए. ये चिंता का विषय है चिंता का विषय हमारे लिए हो सकता है, लेकिन सरकार के लिए समाधान होना चाहिए। सरकार अगर सरकार चिंता का विषय कहेगी तो फिर मेरे ख्याल में पूरे देश को सरकार की पर चिंता करनी चाहिए कि सरकार चिंता करती है, सरकार हल निकालती है, सरकार चिंता नहीं करती, सरकार समाधान निकालती है, चिंता नहीं प्रकट करती।
अगर आप लोग ने तय किया था कि डिमोनेटाइजेशन करना है तो आपने एक बनाया होगा, आपने पता नहीं किसको किसको बताया। अगर आप जैसे विद्वान लोग थे तब इसीलिए यह हालत हुई है इस देश की कि 135 लोग लाइन में खड़े होकर मर गए और इस देश की ये दुर्दशा हुई है। और मुझे आश्चर्य है इस बात का कि तर्क क्या दिया जाता है कि ये देश के लोग हमारे साथ हैं। कहीं कोई घटना हुई? ये क्या चाहते थे आप लोग कि सड़कों पर दंगे हो, एक एक जगह बैंक में लूट मार हो? ये चाहते थे क्या? अगर इस देश का आदमी समझदार है तो इस पे आप लोगों को दुख हो रहा है, इसलिए आप लोगों को दुख हो रहा है कि इस देश के आदमी ने लड़ाई नहीं की। जो वेनेजुएला में हुआ वो आप चाहते थे इस देश में हो कि सड़कों पर लड़ाई हो? ये चाहते थे आप लोग?
We are asking for withdrawal of deposit limits. So yesterday the finance minister in his speech, sir, we didn't come from my party to listen to his speech, nor did we come the previous day, because we believe, and our point was, that for demonetization, Parliament was ignored. And that was our way of stating over the last 2 days that you people don't need Parliament, because you have a one-man band.
Well, moving on now, accusing the government of indulging in politics of vendetta, the Trinamool Congress walked out of the Rajya Sabha on Thursday. TMC alleged that the centre was misusing the investigative agencies to target the opposition parties. The government refuted all charges and reiterated its commitment to fight corruption.
Trinamool Congress members came out all guns blazing in the upper house on Thursday, charging the NDA government of political vengeance for arresting their Lok Sabha leader Sudeep Bandyopadhyay. TMC leader Derek O'Brien tendered notice under Rule 267 and averred that the government was niggling his party members for opposing the centre's decision to scrap high-value currency notes.
Political differences we can have, that's no problem with political differences. But since we flagged this on the 24th of November, the demonetization, Mamata Banerjee was the first person to flag it. 1.5 hours after the announcement was made by the Honorable Prime Minister on the 8th of November, not only Trinamool Congress, all opposition parties together were united on this. Why is this political vendetta happening?
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi rubbished these claims and denied the government's involvement in the arrests made in the chit fund scam in Bengal.
करप्शन और स्कैम के मामले में कोर्ट का निर्णय है, सरकार का निर्णय नहीं है। और करप्शन और स्कैम के मामले में पूरा देश जीरो टॉलरेंस नीति के साथ काम कर रहा है और जो भी करप्शन और स्कैम या चिट फंड के मामले में जो भी उसमें दोषी है, कानून अपना काम करेगा। इसमें सरकार का या पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा कहां से आ जाता है?
The TMC members, however, continued their protests and accused the government of launching a political witch hunt. They also staged a walkout from the house.
Witch hunting indulged by the government, we are staging a walkout.
Yeah. Now,
the CBI had arrested TMC MP Sudeep Bandyopadhyay in connection with the Rose Valley chit fund scam. This was the second arrest in the case after actor-turned-Trinamool lawmaker Tapas Pal's arrest. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now get to the latest from the poll-bound states. Well, the campaigning for the assembly elections in Punjab and Goa came to an end on Thursday. Polling for the two states is slated for February 4th. Voting will take place for 117 seats in the Punjab Assembly, for which 1,145 candidates are in the fray. Punjab will witness a multi-cornered contest on all assembly seats. While the Congress is going alone on 117 seats, ruling Shiromani Akali Dal and its ally the BJP will contest in 94 and 23 seats respectively. A new entrant to Punjab Assembly elections, Aam Aadmi Party has fielded candidates in 110 seats and its ally Lok Insaf Party in 7. Meanwhile, in Goa, voting will take place for 40 seats for which 251 candidates including 19 women are in the fray. Goa Assembly polls are likely to be a three-pronged fight with the ruling BJP, opposition Congress and new entrant Aam Aadmi Party pitted against each other. While Manohar Parrikar-led BJP had won in 2012 in alliance with the Maharashtra-Wadi Gomantak Party, this time it has been abandoned by its political friends who have now ganged up against it. The Congress has fielded 37 candidates and is supporting Goa forward in a few constituencies. The BJP is contesting in 36 seats and has extended support to independents in 4 constituencies. The Aam Aadmi Party is contesting on 39 seats. The Shiv Sena is contesting the election in alliance with the rebel RSS leader Subhash Velinkar-led Goa Suraksha Manch and Maharashtra Wadi Gomantak Party. Well, the nomination process for the 5th phase of elections began today in Uttar Pradesh. Polling for 52 seats spread across 11 districts, including Rahul Gandhi's parliamentary constituency Amethi, will take place on February 27th. The last date for filing nominations is February 9th, while withdrawals can be made till February 13th. The Samajwadi Party had won 37 seats out of the 52 in the 2012 assembly polls, while the BJP and the Congress hold 5 seats each. The BSP won 3 seats, while the Peace Party has 2 seats in this phase. 1.84 crore voters are expected to exercise their franchise in this phase. Moving on to other news now, even as efforts to remove the oil spillage following a tanker collision on the Chennai coast are nearing completion, the DMK raised the issue in Parliament. Questioned the government's efforts to mop up the oil sludge. The party highlighted the threat to the marine life in the area.
5 days after the oil spill on the Chennai coast, triggered by the collision of an LPG tanker with an oil tanker, operations to clear the sludge are nearing completion. Manual and mechanical cleaning is underway to mop up the spill at the Ramakrishna Nagar Kuppam beach.
Totally, as of yesterday evening, we have removed 45 metric ton of oil mixture and we presume still 20 metric ton will be there. So we hope by this evening end we'll be able to complete that removal of the 20 metric ton.
DMK leader and Rajya Sabha MP Kanimuri raised the issue in the upper house, accusing the state agencies of lacking coordination.
There is the different organizations of the government are not coming together when a damage like this happens. And there are reports that indicate around 35 kilometers of the Chennai coastline has been polluted and marine life, including turtles and fish, have died, and the ecosystem has been irreparably damaged. The livelihood of fishermen and their health and safety are of concern.
Environmentalists say the spill is threatening aquatic biodiversity by spreading rapidly along the coast and washing ashore marine species, dead turtles, hatchlings and fish.
It has an impact on the marine biodiversity of the entire area. Right now we've actually seen the entire Chennai coastline. There is a lot of sludge that is there. There's a lot of oil that has actually reached. There are almost 500 species of fish that we have in that entire area, and that is going to get affected.
The spillage has blackened a section of seawater. The Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services said that it has polluted over 24 kilometers of shoreline in and around Ennore and Kasimedu in North Chennai. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Pakistan has placed Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed's name on an exit control list. This comes 2 days after the Mumbai terror attack mastermind and his 4 aides were put under house arrest. India, meanwhile, continues to remain cautious about the developments, with the MEA maintaining that all concrete evidence against Saeed has been handed over to Pakistan. Here's a report.
The very fact that Pakistani authorities has put the name of Hafiz Saeed in exit control list, it means that he can't leave Pakistan without prior permission of the government. That clearly shows that Pakistani authorities have some prima facie evidence, and therefore they have put his name under the exit control list.
The crackdown on the Mumbai attack mastermind has got many in India hoping of perhaps some progress in the 2611 case. But the Indian government is still being cautious about Islamabad's latest decision, especially after a Pak Interior Ministry spokesperson insisted that India must provide more proof against Saeed.
I think the entire world now acknowledges, realizes that from time to time India has been providing series of evidences at different levels, and therefore there are hardly any evidence required. And the longer Pakistan prefers to stay in denial mode, I think they must realize, the powers that be in Islamabad, that the more they are going to risk their own security. Pakistan today is an epicenter of terrorism in the entire region, particularly in the Indian subcontinent.
Time to time we have been providing all the evidence is available. So I'm rather surprised that they're still asking for dossiers. It only clearly indicates that they are not in a position to take action against him.
Security experts have been weighing in on the move as well. While some reports in Pakistan claim the Sharif government acted under Chinese pressure, Indian experts see a US hand.
We have to remain on our guard. We have to remain on our guard, and to the international community, I think we have to continue with our efforts to highlight the fact, to underline the fact that Pakistan is a state sponsor of terrorism, which is not only a danger to India, which is of course Pakistan's obsession, but actually poses a danger to the rest of the world as well. I mean, terrorism is a subject now that poses a threat to the whole world.
India has given sufficient evidence in the dossiers against the conspirators of the Mumbai terror attack. If Pakistan was sincere in ensuring the prosecution and conviction, then the evidence is adequate. Pakistan must realize it is in its national interest and for its own credibility that action is taken.
Hafiz Saeed was named among 38 others on the exit control list, and a top official of the Pakistan government said an FIR would soon be lodged against the JOD chief under an anti-terrorism law. But India still awaits a credible crackdown. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, a refugee deal between the US and Australia is in doubt after reports of a bitter phone call between US President Donald Trump and Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull emerged on Thursday. In a phone call last week, Trump had called the deal to resettle asylum seekers in US as dumb. Meanwhile, as a voice of protest grows over the travel ban, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for the removal of the ban.
With protests growing across the world over the travel ban order passed by US President Donald Trump, the United States Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for revoking the ban. Guterres said the ban imposed on refugees and immigrants from 7 countries should be removed at the earliest.
This is not the way to best protect the US or any other country in relation to the serious concerns that exist about possibilities of terrorist infiltration, but I don't think this is the effective way to do so, and I think that these measures should be removed sooner rather than later. That was the appeal I made.
Since the passing of the executive order, protests have been continuously held across several US states. Thousands of New Yorkers took to the streets on Wednesday to protest the ban. Meanwhile, reports of a discord between Trump and Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull over a refugee settlement deal have emerged. A Washington Post report said Trump abruptly cut short a fiery conversation with Turnbull last week after criticizing the agreement to resettle people kept in Pacific camps.
Look, I'm not going to comment on a conversation between myself and the President of the United States. Other than what we have said publicly, and you can surely understand the reasons for that. I appreciate your interest.
Since taking office on January 20th, Trump has passed several executive orders, the most controversial of which is the travel ban on refugees from all over the world from entering the United States for 120 days and a 90-day ban on the entry of nationals from 7 Islamic nations. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it on this edition of the news at 6. Stay tuned for the Verdict 2017 on the other side.